The house sleeps, but Lyra does not. Moonlight cuts through the curtains in thin white blades. She sits at her desk, the same one her grandmother once used. The air smells of dust and old ink. Her laptop glows softly, a single window open. She types without hesitation, fingers steady, breath calm. Subject line, trigger protocol. Timestamp, 0900 a.m. The message goes to one recipient, an address she memorized years ago. No greeting. No signature. Just instructions precise enough to start an avalanche. She hits send, and the quiet hum of the computer sounds like thunder. Outside, the clock in the hallway chimes once. It has always kept perfect time, even when people did not. Lyra leans back, staring at the ceiling, counting breaths. 7 years she lived under this roof. 7 years pretending weakness while building strength in silence. Her family saw a caretaker, a failure, a woman waiting for direction. They never saw the spreadsheets, the late-night calls, the signed deeds. Her grandmother taught her where value hides. Not in marble floors or club memberships, but in forgotten buildings and neglected corners of a city. Lyra built her company brick by brick, name by name. She called it Arden Revival Group, after the oak trees outside the house. Every property bought in secret, every contract signed through proxies. She learned to smile at their insults while signing million-dollar deals. She learned patience from humiliation. Now patience ends. Her reflection in the window looks unfamiliar, sharper, older. The woman who once begged for approval is gone. She whispers to the glass, "You'll see me tomorrow." The refrigerator hums in another room, steady and cold. Somewhere upstairs, the old pipes groan like restless ghosts. Lyra shuts the laptop and locks the drawer. Every key has its place. Every plan has its moment. She checks her phone. No messages from Ethan. No apology, no curiosity, nothing. Perfect. The silence suits her. She moves through the hallway barefoot, touching the wall for balance. The photos of generations stare down from their gold frames. Smiling men in suits. Women in pearls who never worked a day for what they owned. Lyra pauses at her grandmother's portrait. The eyes seem to follow her, calm and knowing. "You gave me this house," she murmurs. "I'll give it back the respect it deserves." Downstairs, the clock strikes again, louder this time. Each chime a heartbeat closer to morning. She makes tea, watching the steam rise in thin ribbons. Her hand trembles once, then steadies. Fear isn't gone, but it's caged now. Controlled. Useful. In less than 8 hours, the balance of power will shift. Her father will shout. Her mother will perform grief. Ethan will try to reason. None of it will matter. The papers are filed, the ownership recorded, the trap complete. Lyra finishes her tea, rinses the cup, dries it carefully. Order restores her. When the first light touches the window, she's still awake. Tomorrow begins with her name on every key. The doorbell rings at precisely 9:17. Lyra is already waiting in the hallway, coffee untouched. She smooths the sleeve of her gray blazer, breath steady. Through the glass, she sees them, her father, mother, and Ethan. The trio looks uneasy, edges of panic behind polished faces. Her father's car sits crooked on the lawn, tire marks on wet grass. She opens the door before they can knock again. "Good morning," she says, voice clean, unshaken. Her mother steps inside first, clutching a designer bag like armor. Ethan follows, tie loose, eyes scanning the room as if for escape. Her father wastes no words. "What is this nonsense? The bank called me." Lyra tilts her head, curious. "They said this property belongs to some company, Arden Revival." Her smile barely moves. "That's correct." Silence thickens. Her father's face reddens, veins surfacing at his temple. "Don't play games, Lyra. This is your grandmother's house." "Yes," she answers calmly, "and her will made me its owner." Ethan steps forward. Dad just wants to be sure everything's legal. Oh, it's legal, Lyra says. Perfectly legal. She gestures toward the dining room. Let's sit. The same table from last night gleams between them, polished and cold. On it rests her laptop, 3 leather folders, and a neat stack of papers. Her father doesn't sit. He paces, restless, angry. What exactly are you trying to prove? Nothing, Lyra replies. I'm showing you reality. She opens the laptop. Rows of properties fill the screen. Addresses, valuations, returns. 26 holdings, under Arden Revival Group. Her mother's lips part, soundless. Ethan leans in, reading fast, disbelief replacing confidence. That's, you own Hancock Plaza. Yes, Lyra says softly. Your office lease expires next month. Her father slams his hand on the table. This is absurd. You can't possibly control these assets. Lyra slides a folder toward him, mirroring his gesture from dinner. The documents disagree. He flips through the pages, signatures, stamps, notarized seals. Every property purchased quietly, lawfully, she adds. Her mother finally speaks. You've been hiding this from us. Not hiding, building. The clock chimes from the hallway, echoing each word. Building, while you were busy teaching me where I didn't belong. Ethan's voice breaks the tension. Why do all this in secret? Because you would have stopped me. Her phone buzzes once on the table. She answers on speaker. Morning, Ms. Arden, says a crisp voice. The transfer files are complete. Thank you, Alina, Lyra replies. Send the leases. The voice fades, replaced by silence. Her father stares. Leases, what leases? For this house, Lyra says, and 2 others you currently occupy rent-free. Her mother gasps. You're evicting us. Of course not, Lyra smiles. I'm offering fair terms. Ethan's jaw tightens. This is revenge. No, she says. This is balance. Her father grips the back of a chair, speechless. For the first time in her life, Lyra watches him search for words and fail. She closes the laptop, the click final as a lock. Coffee on the table, she says. We have business to conclude. None of them move. Outside, sunlight floods through the window, bright and merciless. Lyra's reflection gleams on the polished surface, calm, untouchable. The country club smells of lemon polish and quiet arrogance. Lyra walks through the glass doors like a ghost they tried to bury. Heads turn, whispers follow, curiosity dressed as politeness. Her father waits near the window, posture rigid, smile brittle. Her mother clutches her pearls, her armor of habit. Ethan stands beside them, phone in hand, pretending composure. Lyra, her father says, voice low, thank you for coming. She sits without waiting to be invited. The same leather chairs, they once refused her for not fitting in. He clears his throat, the sound rehearsed. This situation has gone far enough. Her mother nods. We just want things back the way they were. Lyra's eyes lift slowly. You mean when you decided who mattered? Her father leans forward. You humiliated this family. No, she says. You built a family on humiliation. I just changed the locks. Ethan exhales sharply, voice cracking through the tension. Do you understand what you've done? Clients are pulling out, people talk. Lyra takes a sip of coffee. Let them. Her father's tone hardens. Bill Harrington called me this morning. He said you approached his group. I did, Lyra says. He's funding my next 3 projects. Her mother gasps, a sound between disbelief and fear. You're destroying your reputation, she says. Funny, Lyra replies. I finally have one that's mine. Her father slams his palm on the table, china rattling. You think this makes you powerful. You're a woman with no network. Lyra's voice remains calm. Networks crumble, ownership stays. The waiter hovers nearby, unsure whether to approach. Ethan's phone buzzes, his eyes widen. He whispers, our firm just lost the Hancock lease renewal. Lyra doesn't flinch. Another tenant offered 12% more. Her father's anger falters into confusion. Who would trust you with this kind of capital? She smiles faintly. People who see beyond a surname. Her mother's eyes fill with tears. We could have helped you. I needed respect, not rescue. The words hang heavy, sinking into the polished wood. Her father adjusts his cufflinks, stalling for dignity. I've spoken with 3 attorneys, he says. There are ways to challenge inheritance. Lyra sets down her cup gently. You'll need a 4th. He blinks. What? Your lawyers work for me now. Her mother goes pale, hand frozen midair. Lyra continues. Martindale and Pierce joined Arden Revival last quarter. Her father stares, realization dawning too late. The waiter refills their glasses, trembling slightly. Ethan rubs his temples, whispering, How did you do all this? By listening when you thought I was silent. Her phone vibrates again. A message flashes, documents executed successfully. She locks the screen without looking. This isn't over, her father mutters. It already is, Lyra answers. She stands, placing a business card on the table. Your lease payments are due Friday. Please use the company portal. She turns to leave. Her mother's voice follows, faint cracking. Lyra, wait. Lyra pauses, not looking back. You wanted a legacy, you have one now. Outside, sunlight burns across the marble floor. Each step she takes sounds like the closing of a vault. A month passes, quiet but heavy with consequence. Lyra's name appears in newspapers beside words like visionary and revival. She reads the articles once, then files them away. Recognition feels strange, lighter than resentment, heavier than peace. Her office overlooks the river, sunlight breaking across glass towers. Below, workers restore the old district she once dreamed of saving. Her desk is neat, every document aligned to perfection. The plaque reads, Lyra Arden, founder and CEO. Her assistant knocks softly. Another interview request, Channel 9. She shakes her head. Decline it, let the work speak. Her phone buzzes with updates. Leases signed, permits cleared, profits rising. Each notification hums like quiet applause in her chest. She remembers nights when she could barely afford coffee. Now she owns the building that sells it. Elena, her attorney, enters with 2 thick folders. Finalized agreements for the riverfront expansion, she says. Lyra signs them, pen steady. Any word from my family? Elena hesitates. Your father's influence at the bank is diminished. Lyra nods. And my brother. Rumors of layoffs at his firm. He's keeping a low profile. For a moment, pity flickers, then fades. She never wanted their ruin, only distance. Her mother's social circle has shrunk to whispers and apologies. Old allies vanish when the money shifts direction. Lyra looks out the window. Some victories echo louder than applause. Her grandmother's watch ticks on her wrist, steady and kind. That sound is worth more than any inheritance. She drives to the cemetery that afternoon, parking under a maple tree. The wind moves through branches like a quiet conversation. She kneels beside the stone etched with her grandmother's name. I did what you told me, she whispers. They never saw my worth until they had to. The words dissolve into the breeze, neither bitter nor proud. Just true. She places fresh lilies on the grave, their white petals trembling. For the first time, she cries without shame. Not for loss, but for release. When her phone buzzes again, she ignores it. Let the world wait a minute. She sits there, listening to the wind, feeling the ground steady beneath her. The empire she built no longer feels like armor. It feels like home. Driving back into the city, she passes one of her restored buildings. Children play on the new steps, their laughter carrying through the air. That sound means more than every boardroom victory combined. Back in her office, Elena waits with new documents. 2 new investors, she says. Both want in on the next project. Lyra signs again, calm and sure. Power is quieter than people imagine. It lives in consistency, in choices made without permission. Outside, the sunset bleeds into the river like melted gold. Lyra watches her reflection in the glass. The woman staring back finally belongs to herself. No shadows behind her. No need to prove anything ever again. The restaurant glows with amber light and polished laughter. Lyra arrives early, the sound of cutlery like distant echoes. She orders water, not wine, wanting her mind sharp. At 7 o'clock, her parents enter, rehearsed smiles in place. Her mother wears lavender, her father navy blue, colors of negotiation. They sit across from her, pretending comfort, avoiding her eyes. Her father speaks first. "We've been thinking about family." Lyra nods, silent, letting him fill the air with familiar control. Her mother reaches across the table, her hand trembling. "You've made your point, dear. Can't we start again?" Lyra studies her reflection in the silver knife beside her plate. "You mean pretend nothing happened?" Her father sighs, irritation disguised as patience. "We're offering peace, Lyra. Don't mistake it for surrender." She smiles slightly. "I never confuse those two." The waiter pours wine, the red pooling like truth on white linen. Her mother lowers her voice. "You've changed. You used to listen." "I listened for 30 years, Lyra says. "Now it's your turn." Her father straightens. "Ethan's struggling, his company, well, you know." Lyra sets her glass down gently. "Yes, I know. I own the building." The words land like a quiet verdict. Her mother looks away, blinking too fast. "I didn't come to punish you," Lyra says, "but we need boundaries." Her father frowns. "Boundaries, this is family." "Exactly," she answers. "That's why it needs them." He leans closer. "We can restore the family name together. Join us." Lyra shakes her head. "My name stands fine on its own." Before they can reply, she checks her phone. A message flashes. He's here. Moments later, Ethan walks in, nervous but determined. He spots them, hesitates, then approaches the table. Lyra gestures to the empty chair beside her. "Sit." Her parents exchange shocked glances. "I invited him," Lyra says calmly. "We have unfinished business." Ethan sits, his tie slightly crooked, eyes searching hers. "You could have ignored me forever," he says quietly. "I could have," she replies, "but I didn't." She reaches into her bag and slides a folder across the table. He opens it, eyes widening. "Head of legal strategy." "Arden Revival needs someone who understands the rules," she says. Her father scoffs. "You're offering him a job." "I'm offering him a chance," Lyra says. "No shortcuts, earn it." Ethan stares at the papers, torn between pride and relief. "Why would you do this after everything?" "Because family should build, not break," she answers. Her mother whispers, "Lyra, this is unexpected." Lyra nods. So is respect when it's finally given. Ethan signs the offer, pen shaking slightly. Her father exhales, shoulders lowering in reluctant acceptance. The waiter brings their food, steam rising between unspoken apologies. Ethan lifts his glass first, to second chances. Lyra clinks her glass against his, to earning them. Her parents remain quiet, the kind of silence that begins healing. For the first time in years, no one argues. The candle flickers between them, steady and bright. Outside, the city hums with renewal, as if it too forgives. The house smells of roasted herbs and sunlight on polished wood. Lyra sets the last plate on the table, edges perfectly aligned. The oak surface gleams, same as the day her grandmother last hosted dinner. Footsteps echo from the hallway, slow, uncertain, but warm. Her parents arrive first, coats folded neatly over their arms. Her father's voice is softer now, stripped of command. Her mother carries a bouquet of lilies, trembling slightly. "Thought the table could use some life," she says. Lyra smiles. "It already has plenty." Ethan follows moments later, papers tucked under one arm. He looks different, lighter, freer, a man no longer pretending. They settle around the table, The four of them, no titles, no hierarchy. Liana enters from the kitchen, apron tied with precision. The scent of bread trails behind her like memory. "Dinner's ready," she says, eyes glinting with quiet pride. Her father stands as Liana places dishes down. He never used to stand for anyone. "Smells wonderful," he says and means it. Conversation starts hesitantly, then grows roots. They talk about the Miller Street project, about progress and patience. Ethan describes his new legal strategies, his voice steady, assured. Their mother listens, asking questions instead of corrections. For once, silence doesn't feel like judgment. The clock chimes 7, echoing through generations of change. Lyra pours coffee into the old china cups with blue flowers. The same ones that once served power now pour peace. Her father studies the cup before speaking. "You've built something real, Lyra, something we couldn't see." She meets his eyes, neither bitter nor forgiving, just true. "I didn't build it alone," she says. Liana nods from her chair near the window, smiling faintly. Her mother places her hand over Lyra. "We were wrong to measure worth the way we did." Lyra squeezes her hand lightly. "We all had learning to do." Ethan laughs softly. "Some of us learned faster than others." The room warms with gentle laughter, small but honest. Outside, twilight turns the garden gold. Lyra stands to light the candles, the flame reflecting in every glass. Across the table, her father leans forward, curious. "What's next for Arden Revival?" "Restoration," Lyra says. "Not just buildings, people too." Liana raises her cup. "To rebuilding right." They toast together, the sound crisp and clean. Later, as the conversation drifts toward memories, Lyra glances around. Her mother discussing flowers with Liana, Ethan explaining contracts. Her father studying renovation sketches, like blueprints for redemption. Everything broken now fits again, imperfect but whole. The clock ticks on, steady as heartbeat. Lyra steps to the window, watching stars blink above the garden. Her grandmother's watch glows faintly on her wrist. The house no longer feels like a burden or a trophy. It feels alive, restored by honesty and time. She whispers to the night, "Some homes aren't inherited, they're earned." Behind her, laughter rises again, familiar, fragile, and free. Morning light drifts through the tall windows, soft and gold. Lyra stands alone in the quiet house, listening to the echoes. The walls no longer whisper judgment, they breathe calm. Every scar in the wood tells a story that finally feels hers. She walks through the hallway, fingertips grazing the framed photos. Faces of the past stare back, no longer demanding, just present. In the study, blueprints scatter across her desk, plans for tomorrow. The city waits outside, full of work and promise. Her phone buzzes once, a message from Ethan, meeting confirmed. She smiles, closing it without reply. Some bonds no longer need words. Liana hums faintly in the kitchen, a tune older than memory. Her parents, laughter drifts faintly from the garden. Peace sounds nothing like silence, it sounds like this. Lyra adjusts her grandmother's watch, the gold catching light. The clock in the hall chimes 9, steady as a heartbeat. For the first time, she doesn't measure time by loss. She opens the front door, sunlight spilling across the threshold. Everything she built now stands behind her and ahead of her. She steps forward, unafraid, into the life she made her own.